The girl who carried his dog tags home. WWII 1945. In the dying weeks of World War II, when the thunder of artillery still haunted the hills of eastern France, a 14-year-old girl named Elise wandered through the edges of the forest near her village in Alsace. The spring flowers had begun to bloom again, delicate colors rising defiantly through the mud, but Elise wasn't looking for beauty. She was looking for firewood. Her mother hadn't spoken since her brother was taken, and her father had not returned since 1940. But what she found that day, beneath a blanket of ferns and broken branches, was not firewood. It was the lifeless body of an American soldier. He was young, no older than her brother, and his eyes were closed in a peace that didn't belong to war. His rifle lay nearby untouched, and his hand rested on his chest. Around his neck hung a pair of dull, blood-stained dog tags. Elise didn't scream. She simply knelt beside him and whispered, "Merci." Then she reached for the tags, not out of curiosity, but out of instinct. Something told her he shouldn't be left nameless. Not here, not like this. Part 2, the decision. Elise took the dog tags home, wrapping them in a handkerchief as though they were made of gold. That night, as wind howled through broken shutters and silence swallowed her village, she sat by candlelight staring at the name, etched into the metal, PVT, Michael Thornton, U.S. Army. She whispered it to herself over and over, as if saying it enough times could keep it from disappearing. Her mother didn't ask questions. She simply touched the tags once and turned away. Elise knew what she had to do. She didn't know where America was. She didn't even know if the war was truly over. But she knew one thing: someone, somewhere loved this boy, and they deserved to know what became of him. She packed bread, a scarf, the tags, and a postcard of their village. Then before sunrise, she slipped out. With nothing but faith in her heart and a dead soldier's name in her pocket, Elise began walking to find someone who could take him home. Part 3, the road to Reims. The road was long, stretching beyond forests and farmlands still scarred by craters and barbed wire. Elise walked alone for miles, her shoes splitting, her scarf catching the cold wind. Some soldiers she passed ignored her. Others offered chocolate. But when she showed the tags and whispered, "Je dois le ramener chez lui," most simply looked confused. At a checkpoint outside Reims, a medic who spoke broken French took her aside. When he saw the dog tags, he went still. "He's one of ours," he said quietly. "Private Michael Thornton. Went on first." The man offered to take the tags, to send them up the chain of command, but Elise shook her head. "No, I give them to his mother." The medic stared at her, mud-streaked, trembling, but unbroken. He made a call. Hours later, Elise was placed in a jeep bound for a U.S. field office. She didn't speak on the ride. She simply held the tags like a sacred relic. Her journey, she believed, wasn't done until the name was spoken. To the one who had given it to him. Part 4, the woman in the photograph. At the U.S. base, Elise waited quietly while soldiers buzzed around her like bees in a hive. A chaplain approached and asked gently, "Why did you come?" She handed him the tags and the postcard, where she had written, "He was kind. He did not die alone." They wept, though she did not. Days later, she was invited into an officer's quarters, where a young woman in a pressed uniform handed her a letter. It was from Margaret Thornton, Michael's mother. "Dear Elise," it read, "I cannot find the words, but because of you, I no longer have to wonder. My boy rests in peace, and I know it's because an angel found him. You are forever a part of our family. If you ever come to America, there will always be a place for you here." Along with the letter was a photograph. Michael, smiling with a baseball cap on, and a younger sister who looked, Elise thought, very much like herself. She clutched the photo and for the first time in months cried, not from sadness but from release. Part 5, the medal on her wall. Years passed. The war became memory, then history. Elise never went to America, but she kept the letter and photo in a frame beside her bed. She married, had children, and lived a quiet life in the same village. When she passed away in 1997, her daughter found the frame, and behind it, tucked gently in paper, was the dog tag of Michael Thornton, the original. The U.S. had sent a replacement, but Elise had kept the one that mattered. At her funeral, an American flag was draped beside her casket, a gift from the Thornton family who had finally met her decades later. On the inside of her headstone, in French and English, was written, Elle l'a ramené chez lui. She carried him home, and in a war that tried to tear the world apart. A young girl with no weapon, no rank, and no command did what armies could not. She gave one boy's name back to history and gave his family peace. Subscribe for more good old days.